Hello everyone. Welcome to another exciting project tutorial. Today we'll be creating something unique and practical, a fully custom video player using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. This isn't just any regular video player. We're designing a sleek, modern interface with custom controls so you can build a player that fits perfectly with your site style. In this project, we'll learn to replace the default video controls with our own. We'll use font awesome icons to make custom play, pause, and stop buttons, add a stylish progress bar, and display a timestamp that updates as the video plays. This means when you hit play, the button smoothly toggles to pause, the stop button resets playback to the beginning, and the progress bar lets you navigate freely through the video. Every interaction will be powered by JavaScript, leveraging the video API to manage play, pause, current time mode. This tutorial covers everything step by step, so by the end, you'll have a completely custom, professional-looking video player that you can use on any site. We'll even add rounded corners, interactive buttons, and a sleek design to make it really stand out. If you're enjoying this project, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more tutorials like this. Watch the full video to follow each step, and don't forget to leave a comment if you'd like the source code, and check out our full playlist for more fun and useful projects. Let's get started. This is going to be awesome.
Okay, so we're going to start on our custom video player, and the first thing I want to do is go over the file structure. So over here on the side you can see we have an index.html, which is empty, script.js, which is empty, and then as far as assets go, we have in the image folder a poster PNG, and with the HTML5 video tag or element, you can have an attribute called poster, which is like a default image, and this is what we're going to use for that. And then in videos I have this gone.mp4, which is the video that we're going to play, and of course you could use any video file you want. Now for the CSS, I actually have a folder called CSS with a blank style CSS, which is what we'll create. And then in addition to that, you'll notice I have this progress CSS, which is basically styling the range input. Okay, so for the video progress, we're going to use a range input, and you can see that there's a lot here, and I didn't really want to focus too much on this. So what I did is I used from an article on CSS Tricks, a fantastic article that shows you how to, actually I have it open already, that shows you how to style these range inputs with cross-browser compatibility. And I wanted to properly give them credit. CSS Tricks is a phenomenal website for CSS. So basically, you take the default look like this and turn it into something like this. So they give you the styles here, and that's where that CSS is coming from. Okay, so you can get that in the resources, you can get it from the GitHub repo. So that's the file structure we'll be working with. So we're going to start off in the index.html, and let's go ahead and create our boilerplate, and we'll say custom video player. So we're going to want to link our style sheet. Let's add the progress CSS, which is in the CSS folder, and then let's also add our style CSS, which we still need to create, or not create, but add the styles to. Now in addition to this, we're going to be using font awesome for our icons. So to use the newest version, you can go to fontawesome.com and you have to actually create an account, log in, and create what's called a kit. Or you can use the older version if you search for font awesome CDN. So right here, this Bootstrap CDN by StackPath, you can actually use, if we click right here, you could use one of these, so we can grab this link here, and that way you don't even have to create an account or anything like that. So I'm just going to grab that and put it right above our other two CSS files. Okay, so that should be all we need for the head. And then let's add the script source. It's going to be script.js, and then we'll go ahead and create the body. So we're going to have an H1, and we'll say custom video player. And under the H1, we're going to have our video tag. Now this takes in a source, which is going to be nothing goes in here, but we have some other attributes to add. So in addition to source, let's give it an ID of video so that we can access it in the JavaScript. And we also want to give it a class to style, and I'm going to call that screen. Okay, and then we want to add a poster attribute, and this is going to be kind of the default image that shows, so that's going to be in image/poster PNG. So I'll save that, and VS Code will just kind of format everything. Okay, so that's our video. Now let's open this up just to see what we get. So what we get is just the poster. There's no controls here. I can't even play the video whatsoever. However, there is a controls attribute we could use here. And now if we take a look, now we just have like a standard player, right? We could play the video, we can pause it, and we can control it, and that might be just fine. But what I want to do is show you how to create your own controls, your own play button, your own progress bar and timestamp and all that stuff to make it a little more interesting, and you can really create your own custom player rather than just embedding an HTML5 video. Alright, so let's go back here, and we're going to get rid of controls because we're going to have our own controls. So underneath video, let's create a class of controls, and we're going to have a button with a class of BTN, and let's give it an ID of play, and let's create 2 of these. So we'll say ×2, enter, and let's see, let's put this down here, and I just want to change this second one to the ID. I'm going to change to stop. Play and stop. So in here we're going to have a font awesome icon, so let's say FA, and then we also want the class of FA-play, and I want to make it a little bigger so that we can do FA2X to make the icon a little bigger. And for the stop icon, let's say I class FA, FA-stop, and FA-2X. Okay, so if I save that and we take a look, you can see down here we have a play and a stop button. Now this looks absolutely horrendous, but we're gonna add some CSS in a little bit to make this look a lot better. Now we also need a progress bar to show, where the video's at, also to skip around and stuff like that. So we're gonna use an HTML5 range input for that. So right under the button here, let's say input, let's give it a type of range. Okay, we don't need a name. We do want an ID. We're going to give the ID of progress, also a class of progress, because that's what we're using to style it. And there's some other attributes we want as well. So it needs a range. We're going to say the minimum is going to be 0, so that's basically where it starts, and then a max of, let's say, 100. All right, and then for each step, so like where we click it, how much of that is it going to take up, and since basically each step is going to be a second, we're going to say 0.1 for the step. Okay, so we'll be able to step by 0.1, and then the initial value obviously will be 0 because we want it to start at the beginning of the song. So let's save that, and if we take a look, you can see it's already styled because we have that progress CSS file. However, if I were to comment this out right here just to show you the default look of it, it would look like this, which may be just fine, but I just wanted to use kind of a different style. So we're going to go ahead and add that back. Okay, and obviously it's like on top of the play button right now, but we're going to fix all that with CSS. And then the very last thing I want is a place to show the timestamp, the time of the video, where we're at in the video. So let's go underneath the input here, the range input, and we'll put a span, and I'm going to give it a class of timestamp and also an ID of timestamp. And it's going to start at 00:00. Okay, so that should show up, and that shows up right here. All Alright, so that should be it as far as the HTML goes. So now in the next video, we're going to go ahead and style this disgusting looking video player. Okay, so our HTML is complete, so we can close that up, make sure it's saved, close it up, and then open up your style CSS. And we're going to be using a font for this. And I mean, the only place we have fonts is the heading and the timestamp, but I figured we'd use something different. So we're going to use a font called Equestrial, I think it's called. Yeah, right here, Equestrial. So we're just going to grab that and import it into our CSS. So let's paste that right here, and then grab this font family and copy that, close that up, and let's put that in the body. Okay, so let's add our reset here with our box sizing. So border box, box sizing border box. And in the body, same kind of thing we've been doing. We're going to use flex to center everything. So display flex, except we want to set the direction to a column, and then we want to align items to the center. We want to justify content to the center and set a max height of 100 viewport heights and take away the margin. Okay, I think that's it. Actually, let's set the background. Let's set the background color to 666, which is like a medium gray, I guess. Okay, so the H1, I'm just going to make the H1 white. Okay, let's see what we have so far. Good. And let's see, let's do the screen. So the screen is like this right here. So that has a class of screen. It's actually the video element, but I put a class of screen. And I'm going to put a cursor pointer because we're going to make it so that when we click on the actual screen on the video, it can play and pause. And then for the width, I'm going to set it to 50% and set the background color to black. Now, if you want to set the background color to a video element, you actually have to add the important flag, which just specifies that that it's important and it should overwrite any other background color properties. And then I'm just going to make the top left and right corners rounded, because underneath we're going to have the controls, and the controls will have the bottom left and right corners rounded so that it looks like it's just one piece. So we're going to say border dash top left dash radius, and let's set that to 10 pixels. And then we want top right radius, and of course you can change things up if you want. If you want to do 5 pixels or no radius at all, you can always do that. So let's save that, take a look. Okay, so now it takes up 50% of our screen, and we have the black background, and we have the top right and left corners rounded. So the controls is this right here. We have a div with the class of controls here. What does this look like if I make this smaller? Alright, so I do actually want to make this smaller, but this is too small on small screens on mobile devices. So before we move on here, I'm just going to add a quick media query. Let's make this a little smaller so we can see both at the same time. And I'm just going to add a media query here. And I'm going to say max width. So basically any screens that are 800 pixels or smaller, then I'm going to take the screen class and the controls class, and I'm going to set a width instead of 50%, which is the default, we're going to do 90. There we go. So now it's pretty much a responsive video player. So let's continue on with the controls. So we'll go right here above the media query and say controls, and I'm going to set the background to be a little lighter than black, so 333, and let's set the color to white, and let's make the bottom right and left corners rounded, so I'm just going to copy that and then change right here and here to bottom. Okay, so now it looks like it's kind of one piece here. So let's see, we want to align everything horizontally, so we're going to use flex. We're going to make this into a flex box. Okay, so that aligns everything. And let's justify the content to the center, align it that way, and align items to the center. That, good. And I think, oh, some padding. We need, let's do padding, 10 pixels. Okay, so that's kind of shaping up. Now we want to style the buttons because these don't look too good. So let's go right here, say controls, and both have a class of btn. And what I'm going to do is basically make them disappear. We're going to take away the border. We're going to set the background to transparent, and also make a cursor pointer on the cursor. Okay, so that kind of just takes away the background and the border. Now for the icons here, I want to make them a certain color. I want the play to be green, the stop to be red, and the pause button we're going to insert dynamically because it only is going to show when the video is playing. So that will happen in the JavaScript. However, we can add the CSS for it now. So let's take let's say controls, and we want FA-play. Let's make the color of that. Let's make it 28A745, which is a green color. And then, actually, I guess we'll just take this, copy it down twice, and this is going to be for the stop. And let's see, the color we want here is a red color, which is going to be DC3545. Okay, and then for the pause, which will be created within the JavaScript, we're just going to make that white. Alright, so if I save that, now we have the colored play buttons. Okay, now lastly is the timestamp here. So let's say basically, I'm just going to make sure that the color is white, and I'm going to make it bold, so font weight, set that to bold, and I'm also going to add some margin left because you can see it's very close to the progress bar, so we'll just do 10 pixels left and push that out a little bit. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good, and if I make it bigger, oh, okay, so one thing I forgot to do, for the controls in the media query, I have it to 90%, but I forgot up here to set the width to 50%, like the screen is set. So right here, let's say width 50%. There we go. Okay, cool. Actually, you know what? Let's make it a little bigger. Let's do 70. Like, okay, I mean, when it's really big like this, it's a little too big, but yeah, I mean, it's up to you, however you want to do it. But I think that maybe 60 would be better, right in the middle. You can play with it, you know, whatever looks good to you. Yeah, that's good. I think that's really good. Okay, so we have the UI of our video player. Obviously, it doesn't do anything. Oh, that's one thing I forgot is the outline here. So let's take care of that. So we want the BTN focus. Set the outline to 0. Okay, good. Yeah. So in the next video, we're going to go ahead and make this thing function with some JavaScript. We're going to add some event listeners on play, stop. We'll have the progress, we'll have the timestamp using the video API. All right, so we have our video player as far as the styling goes and the display, the UI, but it doesn't function, obviously. It doesn't do anything. So we want to add functionality to this so that we can play the video, we can pause it, we can stop it, we can click on the actual screen here and it will play and pause, and then we'll move on to the progress bar and the timestamp. So first thing we want to do in our script.js is get all the DOM elements that we need. So obviously the video, so we can use document.getElementById. We're going to get it by the ID of video. And since it's an HTML5 video element, there's a bunch of properties and methods that we'll be able to use in order to add the functionality that we want. Okay, I'm going to copy this down 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and we need to grab some other things as well. So for instance, the play button, call that play, and then this will be stop. This is the stop button. Then we have the progress. And then we have the time or timestamp. All right, now what we're going to do is have a bunch of event listeners that call specific functions. So let's add those down here. And we'll probably have to comment some out where we don't have the actual well, I guess we can just define the functions and then we'll add the functionality inside after. So the video element is going to have a few event listeners on it. So one is going to be a click event. So when we click on the actual video, we're going to call a function called toggle video status. And what that's going to do is it's going to play the video if it's paused or stopped and pause the video if it's playing. Okay, and then we're going to have a couple more events on the video. So next will be pause, and when we pause, this one will be play. So when we pause or play, we're going to want to switch the icon. Okay, because when we play, we want this to change to a pause icon, and when we pause it, we want it to change to a play icon. So both of these are going to run a function called update play icon. Okay, and then down here, we want to have a function that runs on time update. So as the video plays, it's going to continuously call this time update, and what we want to do is call a specific function. We want to call a specific function called update progress. Okay, and then let's see, the play button is going to have a click event. So click event, and it's going to call that toggle video status. And then the stop button will have a click event, and that's going to call a function called stop video. And then finally the progress is going to have a change event, because remember it's a range input, so it has a change event. So when you change it, when you slide it, it'll be called, and we're going to call set video progress. And the point of that is going to be, so when we click on here, I shouldn't say when it slides, when we click on it, when we change it, it will call this, and we want it to basically go to that point in the video. So these are all the functions that we want to have. So let's just create them. So this is going to be to play and pause video. So function toggle video status. And for now, let's just return true for now. And then let's have function update play icon. Okay, so what this will do is update the play pause icon. And let's see, we're going to want the update progress, which is going to update the progress and set video time to progress. I don't know if that's the best description, but when we create it, you'll understand it better. So return true. Okay, and then finally we want to be able to stop the video. Pretty self-explanatory, but I like to comment my functions. Okay. And if we open up our console, we shouldn't have any errors. So we have our event listeners set up, we have our functions set up. Let's do the play, at least in this video, or the play and pause. So this toggle video status. Now, since we have, like I said, since this video element or this video variable is connected to an HTML5 video tag, we have an API that we can use on it. And there's a property called paused. Okay, so we can check to see if the video is paused. And if it is, then we're going to call a method called play, which will do just that. It'll play the video. Else, so if it's not paused and we click or we run this function, then we want to call pause, which is another method. Okay, so let's save that. And if I go over here and I click on the video, it plays. If I click it again, it pauses. Alright, so we have that functionality by doing this, and it should happen with the play button too, because when we click the play button, it calls the same function. Now, one thing that I want to happen though here is when it's paused, I want to display the pause icon. So that's where this function comes into play. So let's replace this with if just like we did above. Then we want to take the play button and set the inner HTML equal to the icon with the class FA-play and FA-2x, which is like the initial icon that we already have there. Okay, and then let's say else. Then we'll go ahead and take this and let's set the icon to pause, and we'll save that. And now when I click play, it turns into pause. When I click it again, it goes back into play. Okay, so I think I want to stop the video here. Actually, let's do the stop because that's pretty easy. Now with this API, there is no stop. Like, we can't just say video stop like you might think. We can try it, but you can see video stop is not a function. So what we have to do is set the current time. So there's a property called current time, and we want to set that to 0. So we're basically just resetting it to the beginning, and then we pause it. So if I play it and then I click stop, it goes back to the beginning. So it sets the current time to 0 and pauses it, which is basically stopping it and setting it back to the beginning. Okay, so in the next video we're going to handle these two because we want this to kind of travel along as the video plays. We also want to be able to put it where we want at that spot in the video. We also want this timestamp to update as well, and that's all going to happen with this time update event that basically just keeps running as the video plays. Okay, so we'll do that in the next video. Okay, so now we want this progress bar to scroll along with the video as it plays. So we have this time update event that's being called on the video object or video element, and it's calling update progress. So let's go to update progress. And I just want to show you, if I console log here, video, and look at the current time property, and then I play the video. So notice you can see the seconds that are getting played. Okay, so this is the format that it's giving us. And then we can also get the video, the complete duration. And it's going to be the same, but it'll basically keep showing us it. So this is the complete video duration. Now the progress bar, we basically just want to get a percentage. So what we'll do is set progress dot value, because remember it's a range input, so it has a value, and we want to set that value to the video current time, which I just showed you, divided by the video the complete duration, and then we just need to multiply that by 100 to give us a percentage. So we'll save that, and now watch as I play, watch the progress. So now it's just moving because it's constantly getting that percentage. Okay, so that's working as planned. Now I want to be able to set the progress bar, like put it here and have it go to that point in the video, set that current time to that spot, because right now it doesn't, it just goes back. So that's where this comes in. When I click this and move this or change it, it's firing off this right here, progress change, and it's calling set video progress, which right now just returns true. So this is going to actually be pretty simple. We can just take the video and set the current time equal to the progress dot value. Okay, so whatever that progress value is, let's actually just make sure it's a number. So we can actually just add a plus sign right here. Okay, so we'll take the value and then just multiply it by the video duration, okay, the complete duration of the video, and then just divide by 100. So now if I save and I put it somewhere, you'll see that it actually goes to that spot in the video, whether it's paused like it is now or playing. Okay, so now I can put it to wherever I want. So the progress bar is working perfectly. Now the last thing we want to do is the timestamp. So we have a little bit of formatting to do here, and this is going to happen here in update progress, because this runs constantly as the video plays. And remember, we have access to this current time. So we want to format it in this kind of format where we have the minutes and the seconds. So there's a few lines of code we have to write here. First thing, we need to get the minutes. And we can do that. Let's actually create a variable called mins. And we're going to set that to, let's round it down, so math.floor. And we want to round the video dot current time, and we can just simply divide that by 60. All right, and then to format it with the zeros, we're going to say if, that'll give us the minutes, so if the minutes are less than 10, then let's say mins equals, and then we'll have the 0 concatenated onto mins, and let's say we can format that as a string like this. Okay, so that will give us the minutes. And for the seconds, we can actually do something very similar. I guess I can just copy this, and let's say get seconds. So let's say let secs, S-E-C-S, and to get the seconds we can take the current time, and we're going to use the modulus operator here to get the remainder of 60. And then we can check to see if the seconds, if it's less than 10, then let's set secs to, that sounds weird, let's set it to 0, and same thing. And then down here we want to take the timestamp, which is this element here in the DOM, and we're going to set the inner HTML, and let's set that to mins, the minutes, and we're going to just, I guess, well, we could concatenate, or let's use a template string here. So we'll just say mins, colon, and seconds. Okay, so that should work, I believe. So let's save this, and let's try to play it. And there we go. So you can see the seconds are counting up. And if I move this progress bar around, Usually it goes to that specific time. Can't really test the minutes because it's a 59-second video, but I'm pretty sure it works. So that's going to be it for this, and you can see this video and audio API. You can do the same thing with audio. It's pretty easy to use, and this article will show you all the stuff that we've done. I think it shows everything we've done, and then some other stuff as well. So you might want to check out this article, which I'll actually grab this link here and put it right in the HTML down at the bottom here. All right, so that's it. I will see you in the next video.